Hockey Day in the Berg rolls on here from the Wallace Civic Center on John Fitch Highway in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, as we get ready for the second game of our doubleheader, pitting the Falcons of Fitchburg State University against the Corsairs of UMass Dartmouth. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bolak. Dan, Hockey Day in the Berg, one of our favorite days here on FATV.
So much great hockey that we bring to you. This is the second of two games we'll be bringing you today on Hockey Day in the Berg. If you tuned in for game number one, we thank you, where Littleton Bromfield came away with a 2-1 victory over Fitchburg Monty Tech. So we'll see if, in regards to the Fitchburg teams, if they can get one back here against UMass Dartmouth, Fitchburg State, in what will be a hotly contested MassCAC matchup.
Fitchburg State comes in with a record 10-8-2 on the season. They are 9-5-2 in the MassCAC. UMass Dartmouth 12-8 on the season, 10-6 in the MassCAC.
So looking at the standings, Fitchburg coming in fourth place, 28 points, half a point behind Westfield, who upset Plymouth on Thursday night. Broke a 39-game unbeaten streak for Plymouth State against MassCAC foes. That was enough to leapfrog into third place after the Falcons fell at Salem State 6-4. Meanwhile, UMass Dartmouth, they're coming off a loss as well. They picked up 1 point in an overtime loss, but lost nevertheless to the team at the bottom of the standings in MCLA. That was 3-2 also on Thursday night. Another topsy-turvy night in the conference. What else is new? The MassCAC is just unpredictable this year.
It's been a very strange season in the MassCAC. Plymouth State well out in front, 13-1-2 in conference play. 41 points sees them 10 points clear of UMass Dartmouth. But after the Corsairs, it really gets jumbled up.
Westfield 28.5, Fitchburg 28, Framingham on 24, Salem on 19, Worcester 13, and MCLA on 7.5 coming into today. If the Falcons can come away with a win in regulation, not only will they catch UMass Dartmouth, but they'll also take the tiebreaker, which could be relevant as you get down to the end of it, as these teams are jostling for playoff position. Remember, top two teams get a bye to the semifinals, and if you can get to the championship with one fewer game required, you take what you can get.
Absolutely, a very important game on the ice for Fitchburg State and UMass Dartmouth, but of course, Dan, it's also a very important game off the ice as well.
We all know the story of Jake Tebow. Suffered a serious spinal injury back in 2020. He's continued with his recovery. Physical therapy, you see him on your screen right now. And this is the third annual Hockey Day in the Berg to help raise proceeds for him to help with his recovery. After all, he estimates the care that he needs is in the range of $55,000 to $60,000 a year. So every little bit does help. Also, thank you to Nick Mallard of the Sentinel and Enterprise for writing a tremendous article on Jake as we come up to today here in Hockey Day in the Berg. This is the second of three games they're having. The third one will be televised on a network between Leominster and St. Bernard's.
That's right.
But we had Fitchburg Monty Tech and Littleton Bromfield, and we will have Fitchburg State and UMass Dartmouth up for you next in what we promise you will be a great hockey game.
So folks, if you are in or near Fitchburg, feel like coming down and enjoying a couple of hockey games, we absolutely encourage you, come on down to the Wallace Civic Center. Still 2 games left to play here for Hockey Day in the Berg. But if you are in Fitchburg and it is cold, I understand, or if you should know someone maybe in the Dartmouth area or anywhere in this great world of ours who would like to be part of the audience, just go to FATV.org, look for the Civic Stream, and of course, Dan, FATV is available in so many other places as well.
A lot of different ways to tune in. You look for on your phone, on the App Store and on Google Play, on Fire TV, Roku, and Apple TV on your over-the-top streaming devices, or even in your web browser, fatv.org/civic will bring you right to where you want to be.
So many ways to watch FATV. We are so proud to be able to bring you this and all of the events that we bring to you here from Fitchburg. And again, Hockey Day in the Berg, just one of them, although it is one of the more special ones. All of the proceeds raised here at the Civic Center today going to the continued care and rehabilitation of Jake Tebow. There will be a pregame ceremony recognizing Jake and celebrating Hockey Day in the Berg. They're getting ready for that. That'll be coming up in just about a minute here. But first, the teams are taking the ice. Falcons in their gold jerseys, green shorts. It's a very nice look for Fitchburg State. And Dan, I swear we just saw this team. Hold on. UMass Dartmouth looks almost identical to Littleton Bromfield.
Same color scheme at the very least. They've got the dark blue, they've got the gold. These are newer unis too for UMass Dartmouth. They changed them up about a year or so ago, and these are so much sharper than what they played in the NASCAC Championship in 2018. You may remember these two teams played each other in a championship game 6 years ago.
There's history here. Maybe we'll see some more history written today. Hockey Day in the Berg here on FATV.
Good afternoon, fans, and welcome to the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University for today's NCAA Division III Conference ice hockey game between the Corsairs of UMass Dartmouth and your Fitchburg State Falcons. Today's game marks the third annual Jake Tebow game, with all proceeds from today's tripleheader being donated to the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust after Jake suffered a catastrophic injury on the ice on September 4th, 2021. Jake will never forget his first morning at Spalding, as he had to be hovered out of his bed and placed into a power wheelchair as he didn't have the core strength to yet sit up on his own. Jake is proud of the work he put into getting stronger for hockey, so imagine his surprise when he could barely lift a 3-pound dumbbell. After a few days at Spalding, he realized he could either dwell on all that he lost, retreat into a shell of feeling sorry for himself, or he could fight. Fight with all that he had to beat this. He chose the latter. It was time to dig deep, and it was time to fight. That is why we should all live by Jake's motto of no quit. And as Jake says, my journey won't be done until I'm standing eye to eye, thanking all of you who have helped me. At this time, would you direct your attention to center ice as we welcome Jake Tebow for this afternoon's ceremonial puck drop. Joining Jake for this puck drop are lifelong friends, Falcons number 7, Jeremy Millette, and Corsairs captain number 2, Jake Maynard. Thank you, Jake. And thanks to all for support of the Jake Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust. It's now time to introduce the starting lineups, and first, for the visiting Corsairs. At forward, a grad student number 6, Michael Perrone. At forward, a freshman number 10, Alex Walker. At forward, a freshman number 18, Colin Patterson. At defense, a grad student number 2, Jake Maynard. At defense, a senior number 29, Zach Tarantino. And in goal, a sophomore number 30, Marshall McCallop. Dartmouth is coached by Eric Noak in his 8th season, assisted by Mike Soons, Barry O'Neill, and Lenny Mosca. And now the starting lineup for your Fitchburg State Falcons. At forward, a senior, number 4, Cole Archambault. At forward, a junior, number 5, Oliver Cookson. At forward, a junior, number 19, Michael Macchione. At defense, a sophomore, number 2, Nolan Sargent. Also at defense, a freshman number 14, Adam Nedelka. And in the goal, a freshman number 30, Frederick Soderberg. Fitchburg State is coached by Dean Fuller in his 40th season, assisted by associate head coach Tom Patty, Vincent Giambracco, Chris Kine, Mark Chartrand, and Brian McGrath. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please stand if able for the playing of our national anthem.
Well, that's one way to conduct a national anthem. Our thanks to public address announcer Dr. Robert Hines. We saw Jake Tebow being escorted to center ice by Fitchburg State head coach Dean Fuller. And Dan, there's a very special relationship between Jake Tebow and Dean Fuller.
Yes, Jake said, you can't say enough about Coach Fuller. He's like an adopted grandfather to me, just an unbelievable human being who has literally dropped plans he's had to be there for me and my family.
Hockey Day in the Berg here on FATV. We are just about ready to drop the puck between the Falcons of Fitchburg State and the Corsairs of UMass Dartmouth. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bolak. We are ready for 3 20-minute periods of D3 hockey action.
Indeed we are. You see the Falcons starting netminder Freddie Soderberg, the freshman from Harrison Township, Michigan, will make his 9th appearance of the season, his 7th start. He's 4-2 with a .257 goals against and a .929 save percentage. On the other end, it's the sophomore Marshall McCallum from Pittsburgh. He makes his 9th appearance, 8th start, 5-3 record, .342 goals against, .898 save percentage.
We are underway from the Wallace Civic Center, and here with the first period play-by-play is Dan Bolak.
Thank you very much. Falcons in the alternate gold uniforms will go from left to right in the first 20 minutes. Corsairs in the road dark blue uniforms will go from right to left. Archambault behind the net, drops it off for Oliver Cookson. Go out to the left point, cannot be kept in by Nolan Sargent, and clear down the ice where Soderberg will get a hold of it.
Battled for back behind the net.
The right wing corner trying to spit it out. Corsairs move it to the near side from Kevin Johnston. A stick goes flying. We had a few loose sticks in the first game that we brought you. As it comes around to the right side, Cole Archambault picking it up on the hop. And Archambault will get a shot off, stopped by McCallum. He wasn't sure where it was. It's loose to the left side. Cleared temporarily out of danger. Another shot deflects into the netting and out of play.
It's got to be terrifying as a goaltender anytime you don't know where the puck is, especially, Dan, when you're as far out of your net as Marshall McCallum was on that exchange.
McCallum did not start this season as the starting netminder. Daniel Davidson, who has been a solid veteran netminder for the Corsairs, was. But the last time these two teams met, Davidson was only able to play about 8 minutes of hockey before he came off with an injury. He has not played since for the Corsairs, so it's been next man up, and Marshall McCallum, who had only played a handful of games in his time with UMass Dartmouth before then, has been thrust into the starting role.
Two young backup goaltenders, McCallum and Pat Alto, have had to step up for UMass Dartmouth, both of them sophomores.
Antoine Gignac tries to take the shot. It's blocked in front. Jack Johansson tries to stay on top of that. It'll be taken away by Johnston, but a whistle offside. So they'll say Tyler Stewart was a little too jumpy over the blue line. Our officials, Division I, provided by the New England Women's Hockey Alliance. They have the call there. The faceoff will be outside the Falcon zone with 1:17 gone. There's some tie-ups behind the puck.
That's
there.
a generous way to put it. Yeah, sure. Tie-ups.
Yes, Brandon Clark and Chris Zapata getting tied up behind the play. And that's why we have referees back there who will notice that. Linesman saying, come on, guys, you can't be doing that. Especially not in the place where he can look. On the net right wing corner spot, it gets to that puck. Tries to move it along. Trenton Skaggs keeps it in the zone. Throws it left side corner, looking for Jackson Collins and Hunter Dunn. Behind the net, dug out by Dunn. Falls to the ice. I think he got his stick caught up in the Zamboni door, too. Slowly rolls to the right wing corner. Dunn. Try to reverse direction, right side. Battling for a backhand. Chance shot, saved by McCallum. Another shot. McCallum will get on top of that and cover it up. Already 4 shots for the Falcons, not even 2 minutes gone. These two teams playing for the 3rd time this season. Falcons won the first meeting here 4-2. Last meeting on January 11th was a 6-4 win for UMass Dartmouth, 5-4 plus an empty netter, if you will. Actually, it's probably a little different because one of those was an extra attacker goal for the Falcons. So 5-3 before the empty net shenanigans, but nevertheless a 2-goal win for the Corsairs. They'd struck early in that one and really controlled play in that game, where the Falcons had it for most of the night, as you see the first save there by Freddie Soderberg. And the puck comes all the way down to McCallum. Backhanded along on the far side. Falcons picking that up. Here's Samuel Rennick. Falcons 4th line out there. That shot goes wide. Jeremy Millette, we saw him take the ceremonial face-off. A Leominster native. Moving it around, and a shot from Nolan Sargent ends up going just wide. Now out of the zone. Andrew Wolison actually had the shot. He takes it there to Sam Rennick. Rennick in the zone, drops off, shot save McCallum. Rebound kicked out, still loose. McCallum scrambling a little bit, trying to keep track of that puck. Falcons with the first 5 shots of the game. Nearly 3 minutes gone. Corsairs get a shot. That one will go up on the board as a save. That first one by Soderberg didn't. That one surely will. And now we have a whistle. Hand pass indicated in the neutral zone. While we have a moment, let's thank our FATV underwriters.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, Leominster Credit Union, the Sentinel and Enterprise, and Minuteman Press.
Our thanks to our underwriters who help make all of our remote productions possible. As Marshall McCallum picks up his 6th save. And another draw will come to his left. Vacchioni with a face-off infraction. They don't kick him out for time purposes. Second draw will go to the boards. Cookson has control of it. It's still being pressured. Colin Patterson getting in there. And now cleared out to the Falcon blue line. And punched back out of the zone by the Corsairs. Adam Nedelka trying to nudge it along, but taken now in front. Walker trying to go to goal, couldn't get a shot away. On the left side boards, picked out and thrown around. Archambault reading that one and nudging it out of the zone. That one deflects into the Falcon bench off the blade of Lane Ruffner. And a draw with 16:11 to go in the first. No score, shots 6-1 in favor of the green and gold.
Fitchburg State's had majority of the run of play to this point. Unable to find the back of the net to this point. But they've been on the front foot, so to speak.
Off to a solid start. They have tested McCallum a little bit. Red line gained, dumped in. Could have been a shot on goal if it was a little more on target. Didn't miss the net by much. Brennan Walk trying to get there, but taken by the Corsairs. Flicked out of the zone, dumped right back in, right on McCallum too. Gotta get the pads down and knock that aside. Kate Hanley skates it up for the Corsairs with the pass trying to feed Tyler Stewart. the right wing corner. Jack Johansson there for the Falcons. As it's dug at, puck comes to the near side. Taken at the point by Stephane Perreault. Will shoot into the right wing corner. Falcons will take. They'll try to move up from Alexander Beauvais. Toivo Kramer in with him. Beauvais tries to get on top of that puck, but he's not able to handle it. Out of the zone it comes. Stretch pass for Stewart. Intercepted by Isaiah McKinney. Gets tangled up, but Toivo Kramer will keep it going. Kramer in the left circle. His shot stopped by McCallum. Off the side of the net and into the netting and out of play. 15:05 to go first period. Still no score. Faceoff will come to the right of McCallum. Jackson Collins with a faceoff violation. And that's a second violation. That's a penalty. 2 face-off violations in the same draw is an automatic 2-minute penalty. Collins is appealing his case.
He's clearly not happy with it.
He's still staying on the ice, and then move the face-off all the way down, unless I am mistaken with the rules. Obviously, they were guilty of 2 face-off violations. Falcons now have the 4 skaters on, but nobody's in the box. So some discombobulation here. That everyone's got to try to figure out. Because there were 2 face-off violations, my interpretation of the rules is that's an automatic penalty for delay of game, and someone has to serve that penalty.
And now Hunter Dunn is heading into the penalty box.
So this is how the Corsairs will get their first power play of the night. Very, very rare that it comes for face-off violations, but so be it. Dunn will serve. Corsairs stay up top the right circle, shot blocked in front.
2-minute penalty on Fitchburg State. Hunter Dunn for delay of game. 4:55 first period, 2 minutes.
So it is delay of game. 2-minute power play for the Corsairs.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So we'll have Dunn serve it. I mean, it was Collins who was taking the draws, but so I don't know who to put those penalty minutes against, unless it was Dunn's actions away that was causing the violations.
I was going to ask Dan what it was that Collins was doing.
Whatever the case may be, there's a shot by the Corsairs that was stopped by Soderberg. Now Chris Zapata rushing shorthanded into the zone, trying to make the moves, but McCallum standing up strong, dispossesses him of the puck. Corsairs this season 21.3% on the power play, 3rd in the MassCAP. The Falcons' kill is 4th, 82.4%, which is above average for Division III, 37th out of 85. Falcons get control and spin it all the way down the ice. McCallum quickly out there to settle it. And he will leave it for Jake Maynard. 25 to go on the power play for the Corsairs. Into the zone. Offside's going to be called here. One thing that the Falcons have had going for them this season is how disciplined of a team they are. They average less than 4 minor penalties a game. That's 7.7 penalty minutes. And last time I checked, I believe this is still true. The Falcons haven't committed a major or misconduct all season. And yes, that is still true because they didn't do that in the MCLA game. They didn't do that in the Salem game from my recollection. And thus, that is still true. And that's, I think, a testament to how well coached this team is. After all, Dean Fuller, 600 career wins. Only 4 other coaches have ever done that at the Division III level. That shot was blocked. The penalty is up. The Falcons are back to full strength. They've got some numbers coming down ice with Kramer. It's Reddick, actually. Tries to backhand spin pass to Amala. Reddick does have 12 assists on the season, so he's been pretty good at feeding players. There's a shot turned aside by Soderberg. On the left side, cleared out of the zone, down the ice, and then go again. Won't make it to the goal line, and even if it was going to be on target. Alternate captain Kate Hanley will pick that up for the Corsairs. 12:30 to go in the first. The one man there, and Alex Walker trying to create something, but surrounded by gold shirts. Nothing going that way. Here is Kramer, drops off. And a shot by Beauvais. That's cut down by McAllen. Going back the other way, flipped in the direction of goal. Soderberg tracks it all the way. Back to the side. Another shot, misses the net. Try to play it right off the hop. Pinball's around right side of the paint, won't go. That's kept in, nicely done by the Corsairs. The shot put wide by Vincent Nicosia.
We had a great angle from here in the press box, Dan, of Nicosia just jumping up to intercept that pass.
Here's Beauvais trying to feed. That's cut down by Hanley. Just getting in the way of the shooting lane, getting that with his leg. The walk back into the zone, but passes it up. Couldn't find a recipient. Falcons getting shuffled up on the line change. Here's Jackson Collins into the zone on a breakaway. Collins is fouled. So a delayed penalty coming here, as Soderberg is off for the extra attacker. 6 skaters on. And the whistle will blow. And the Falcons will have their first power play with 11:14 to go in the first.
Jake Maynard heading to the box. Grad student from St. John, Indiana.
One of the co-captains of this Corsair side. He is majoring in business administration.
Take another look here. You see Maynard just, that feels like slashing to me. Take your stick, slash at another guy's legs. That is against the rules.
Yeah, it didn't completely prevent him from getting the shot away. They don't call the penalty shot. It wasn't as egregious enough for me to give the penalty shot in my eyes, so fine with that. Falcons with their first power play of the night. Alexander Beauvais in the left wing corner for Michael Macchione. Antoine Gignac, the point at Adam Nedelka. Here's Gignac. He's a graduate student as well from Quebec City. Takes at the right point. Nedelka blast. That's deflected up and out. Falcons on the power play, 19 for 79 for 24.1%. UMass Dartmouth on the kill, 80.2%, 65 for 81. Falcons second best power play, 15th in the nation. The Corsairs are 5th in the MASCAC.
So Dan, just real quick on that penalty, that's a pretty straightforward slashing call, yes?
I believe so, yes. And I agreed with the call.
Now granted, we are biased. We're wearing hats that say FATV after all, but you know. We also know what we're talking about, at least sort of.
Cleared down the ice, Soderberg holding. Wasn't exactly sure if he wanted to pass it down ice or wait for a Falcon to pick it up. Stretch past Alexander Beauvais. That one taken off his stick and sent back down. 60 seconds to go on the power play for the Falcons. 10:13 to go in the first period of play. No score, shots 8-4 in favor of the green and gold. Perhaps the gold and green today.
There is more gold than green, that's true. Green and gold rolls off the tongue better. It's like, even if Michigan wears blue, they're still the maize and blue, you know?
Here's Millette, Romala, holding in the left circle, puts it across Gignac. Had to try to one-time a bouncing puck. That would have been tough. Wasn't able to keep that bouncer in the zone either. And a heck of a goal if he could have scored off that.
Took a big enough swing at it.
Now up the left side, 2 Corsairs into the zone. Johnson and Cromie both trying to manufacture some discord. One of them falls behind the net. We play on. Penalty about to run out against the Corsairs. 2 seconds in 1, and Maynard is released for the bin. Back to full strength is UMass Dartmouth with 9:08 to go in the first. Rennick gets the shot off. That's shouldered away by McAllen. On the far side of Mala trying to keep it in. But pressure from the Corsairs. Here's Walker trying to feed in front. Patterson, but not able to settle as it goes behind the net. 4 players digging at it. Will be won by Andrew Wollison. We'll try to get it out of the zone, over and back, and an offside call against the Corsairs. .36 to go in this first period. Shots now 9-5. Last time Fitchburg was playing 2 nights ago against Salem, Oliver Cookson had 2 goals, Brendan Walk and Hunter Dunn had a goal each. The Falcons had some special teams woes, gave up the winning goal on the kill. The opening goal was while they were on the power play. The way they played that game, they would have preferred to keep it 5-a-side. Meanwhile, UMass Dartmouth threw 48 shots at Matt Gover, but could only beat him twice. While FCLA was able to beat Marshall McCallum 3 times on 27 shots and win it in overtime. Michael Barone and Colin Patterson had the goals for UMass Dartmouth for that 3-2 win for MCLA, the first-year sort of program, after 20 years off back playing ice hockey this season.
That feels like you could call them a first-year program.
The head coach of MCLA, Jeremiah Ketz, until just last year, he was to one side of Eric Nowak, the head coach of UMass Dartmouth. Ketz was a longtime assistant here for the Corsairs, and before Ketz was an assistant for the Corsairs, he played for Johnson and Wales back when Eric Nowak was coaching the Wildcats. I'd say Nowak taught everything Ketz knows, more or less, but I guess on Thursday night, the student beat the master. There's a shot by Ruffner that is off of leg and off the mark. On the far side, Cookson battling with McDevitt. Ends up winning the puck enough to get it back to the red line. Ruffner will dump it back in, but off the stick of Skaggs. And he'll toss it around the boards for Archambault.
We saw Clark and Mike Macchione have an exchange before a face-off earlier. They got into it again on the far side boards. Something to keep an eye on.
Cookson trying to throw in front one. Archambault wasn't able to get there, but he has it now. 7 to go in the first. Here's Nedelka on the right side. Tries to find Archambault. Had trouble settling. Nedelka gets it back through a lot of traffic. Gallup had to react to that one. They've gotten a piece. Behind the net, out to the far side for McDevitt. Michael Macchione battling with Ruffner there as well. Taken by Connor Little. Send it around to the near side and back in and out of the zone by Brandon Clark.
A little surprised the puck stayed live there. I thought I saw it bounce up and over off the net, but the officials disagreed.
Continue on. On the right side, Nedelka swings it out to Sargent. Tries to throw it back behind the net. Archambault is able to get there. Now dug against the boards, Cookson. Backhands to Nedelka. He throws it towards goal, sticked away by McCallum. Here the track as it goes off the piece of lumber, or composite, or whatever goalie sticks are made out of these days.
You can still call it lumber.
I do own a Fitchburg State goalie stick that is very much made out of wood. I did use it when I played street hockey for a few years. I upgraded to something a little more modern. Toivo Kramer for Alexander Beauvais. The Frenchman rubbed into the boards by Hanley. Now loose in the left circle, Walk trying to get on that. Kramer, Beauvais. Hanley in the corner. Now around for Stephane Perreault. He's been a veteran with this Corsair side. Graduate student, 5 years with the blue and gold. 5:07 to go in the first period of play. Shots still at 9-5. They've been stuck there for a little bit.
Been a lot of end-to-end action over the past few minutes, but very little in terms of sustained scoring opportunities for either side.
Corsairs bring it up on the far side from Zach Tarantino. Thrown around for Jack Johansson. Sam Rennick. Jeremy Millette. His pass is blocked. Patterson got in the way of that. Isaiah McKinney. Now for Johansson. Stretch pass will go into the stands. Sharp reactions by the crowd. Always have to be ready for that. And they duck out of the way with 4:30 to go in the first.
You always got to be, head on a swivel, whether you're on the ice, in the stands, running camera. I know I've told the story of having to duck for my life running a camera here at the Civic Center.
And I've told the story about the time when I was sat in framing cam and trying to get the live stats to work on my phone where a puck went into the stands, and the fellow Falcons I was sitting with ducked out of the way and I didn't. Fortunately, I did not die.
Would have been bad.
Would have been quite strange if I had died.
And you're still here doing this.
Have I mastered necromancy? The world will not know.
First rule of Lich Club, man.
Under 4 to go in the first. Skaggs punches off the boards. Taken by a Ruffner. To the far side. Corsairs moving up. Stewart just out of his reach. As much as he tried stretching out for it. Intercepted Michael Mania. In the zone. Stewart is dispossessed. Good poke there by Nedelka. Now Archambault in the zone. Got the shot off, but over the crossbar. Try to go bar down. Would have worked on a 6-foot-high net, not the 4 that we use. Here's Perreault. Skating around with velocity. Collides with the Falcon. They go to the ice. Everyone gets back up. We're no worse for wear.
Accioni and Nedelka collided pretty hard. Nedelka's actually heading to the ice. He's laboring a bit. He'll head off for a fresh set of legs.
I think he got the worst of it in the collision between him and Stephane Perreault. Under 3 to go in the period. There's Perreault with the touch on. Wolison takes it away, tries to feed, but nobody there. Zapata not quite in the right position. Blasted back into the zone. McCallum slows it down. Perreault tries to blast it out. He'll succeed in doing that. Won't go for icing as it quickly runs out of momentum going across the Falcon bench. And here is Zapata with the shot that's blocked. Second chance save, rebound, scores! Crashing the net and making it all happen. Putting home the rebound was Zapata. The Falcons lead. Some pressure into the zone. You get the shot kicked out by McCallum, but was loose right there. Crashing the net at the top of the paint. Chris Zapata gets his 6th goal of the season, the freshman from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Makes it 1-0.
Fitchburg State goal at 17:29 of the first period. Christopher Zapata from Hunter Dunn and Jackson Collins.
Hunter Dunn and Jackson Collins, the other 2 forwards on that line, credited with assists on Zapata's goal.
Dunn's 5th assist, Collins' 5th as well, on Zapata's 6th goal. The Falcons get the first strike in this contest. That's something they've been struggling with lately. I believe 8 of the last 9 games they've played, they've actually conceded first. This time, they're the ones with the first strike. Falcons are 6-2-1 when they are the ones who strike first. The Corsairs are 4-5. Have another look at it. You see the kick save there, but ever so dangerous when you see a Falcon cutting to the net like that. And Zapata is Johnny on the spot.
Nothing McCallum could do about that. He had to make the initial save, and then he was out of position to stop the rebound. Zapata capitalized perfectly, put Fitchburg State ahead.
That's one of the challenges with goaltending, with the rebound control. You try to minimize those dangerous chances, but sometimes in that case, the first priority is making the save. The second priority is trying to put the puck in a place where it won't be immediately potted home like that. But sometimes you only have enough to do job 1. In that case, job 1 was done, but job 2 was not, and the punishment was immediate. 101 seconds to go in the first period. Face-off comes to the left of McCallum. Falcons will control the draw. Macchione lost his footing. And out of the zone, back in, but Macchione still has to tag. He'll try again. That's touched on the right side of the red line, so there will be no icing. Archambault wanted to take it as Ruffner. There's a lot of snow in front of that Falcon bench. You notice that?
It is an awful lot. That is one of the more heavily trafficked areas of the ice, of course, players going on and off the bench, but we've seen it come into play a couple of times here in this first period.
Yeah, I think Ruffner just got caught flat-footed on that snowy section of the ice. Puck hopping towards Soderberg from the odd angle, but he's able to stop that. We're in the final minute in the first period, looking for a redirection, trying to get that on Johnston's stick to redirect back towards goal. He couldn't get there. Pass to the left point, but nobody's at the left point. That's Johnston, who changed his position up for the worse. He re-enters with Stewart. Stewart isn't able to keep control of the puck. Out of the zone for Perreault. Passes across for Hanley. 20 seconds to go in the period. Hanley into the zone. Takes the shot, but it's well off the mark. Stewart in the left wing corner. Pushing the boards. That's done down there. Or Skaggs. Thrown back to the right side with 5 seconds to go. Hitting against the boards, not a bad thing to do here. Falcons just keeping it away and dumped down the ice. Would have been icing if there were time to call it, but there is no time to call it. Through 20 minutes of play, it's the Falcons who lead by a goal to nil on Chris Zapata's 6th of the year.
Very solid first period for Fitchburg State, Dan, on both ends of the ice. When the defense needed to stand tall, for the most part, they did. Only allowed 5 shots on goal, and of course, Frederick Soderberg stopped all of them. They've actually adjusted that to 7 shots on goal now for UMass Dartmouth in the first period.
I should note that the shot board here is very much unofficial.
Well,
they do have live stats that are being kept on the back end.
It's rare that I get proven wrong mid-sentence. Usually I'm allowed to complete an entire complete thought before someone comes along and says, no, actually, dummy, you said something wrong. That time I was corrected mid-sentence. Frankly, I find that offensive.
They recalibrate the shots on goal to match what they've gotten the live stats after the period is over. And that's where that could come in. But yeah, 7 saves, as is now officially credited to Freddie Soderberg.
And on the offensive side, Fitchburg State just kept pouring on the pressure, shot after shot, kept applying, making UMass Dartmouth get in front of the puck, stop shots, and eventually it was Chris Zapata, the freshman from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, able to break through and put Fitchburg State ahead.
Indeed it was. Exciting first period of action. You could see the pace, the flow. These teams are into it, and there's going to be more exciting hockey to come.
2 more periods left to play here. Fitchburg State, UMass Dartmouth heading to the first intermission. We will take it with them, but come on back for the second period of action. It's Hockey Day in the Berg here on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center, Hockey Day in the Berg on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bullock. And Dan, look, it's Frederick Soderberg.
Well, I was told there was a Freddie the Falcon was here.
That's right. His name's Freddie. He's a Falcon. I don't see a problem. I'm a little surprised he's not in the locker room with his team, but, you know.
In a couple minutes, he'll transform into that netminder who made 7 saves in the first 20 minutes for the Falcons to help give them a 1-0 lead.
Was a very impressive first period for Fitchburg State as we take a look at some of the highlights. UMass Dartmouth, as you said, Dan, got 7 shots on goal in that first period, 12 for the Falcons, including 1 by Christopher Zapata, which was the only goal for Fitchburg State.
Indeed, that was the case. You see it right there after the save on the initial shot by Hunter Dunn. Zapata just jumped right in there, top of the paint, and potted it. 6th goal of the season for the freshman from New Jersey. That was the only goal we had in the opening 20. Each team took a penalty. For the Corsairs, an obvious slash. For the Falcons, the very rarely seen face-off violation. 2nd offense.
And honestly, Dan, again, watching that exchange with Jackson Collins taking the faceoff, I didn't see what he did wrong.
I'm not sure either, but considering Hunter Dunn served the penalty, it may not have been him necessarily.
It may have been Dunn. We did see early in the game there was a bit of unhappiness, something to keep an eye on. Brandon Clark and Michael Macchione, not necessarily on the best of terms, may not be exchanging holiday cards.
Yep. And Freddie the Falcon has transformed and he's ready to retake the ice.
It's amazing how he puts all that equipment on so quickly.
It's magic.
Okay. Wait, is it part of the canon that Freddie the Falcon is magic now?
Let's have that be part of the canon, because that's funnier.
Okay. I didn't realize we had canon writing power. That's awesome. Oh, we're going to abuse the heck out of that. I like it.
If you can, you can.
Exactly. Falcons are taking the ice now, led by their freshman netminder, Freddie Soderberg. Fitchburg State in the gold jerseys, green shorts. UMass Dartmouth in the dark blue, trimmed in yellow. They're the exact same shade, but it's yellow when UMass Dartmouth wears it.
Yeah. There's a couple of other subtle differences between them and Littleton Bromfield as well, but it is more or less the same color palette. They're still very nice looking jerseys.
They're very nice. But the important thing here is that's yellow. The Falcons are wearing gold. Even though they are, again, the exact same color.
More or less.
Teams have changed ends as we get ready for the second period. Falcons will be defending the right side of your television screen. UMass Dartmouth defending the left. Looks like it'll be the second line for Fitchburg State. Michael Macchione getting ready to take the face-off. This was the line that started the first period. And off we go, period number 2. Face-off won by the Falcons. Sent forward off the stick of Oliver Cookson and immediately out of play. We've played 6 seconds of hockey. That's too much hockey. Let's stop. That was an exchange of hockey that you could have fit into a vine.
And that's the second time that those fans have had to duck out of the way in this contest.
That's true.
That may be at least one too many.
Face-off comes just in front of the Falcon bench, sent down to the left side rather. McCallum will play it away. Comes into the left side corner, cleared out of the zone. Colin Patterson, his shot is deflected, goes up into the net. Nolan Sargent got a stick in there. We'll get another face-off inside the offensive zone for UMass Dartmouth.
Well, 6 seconds was too long. What's 15 seconds?
It's 2.5 fines. Every instance of time in this game is going to be measured in fines now. I promise I won't actually do that. There's another face-off violation, 4th one of those we've seen called in this game. Face-off won by the Corsairs. Shot by Maynard goes wide. Cleared back out to center ice. Maynard will gather there. Back in his own zone, however. D to D in the UMass Dartmouth end. Maynard pass up the middle, goes off a stick and is sent back in by Fitchburg State. Pursued down there by Tarantino. Tarantino can't clear the zone, comes back behind the net once again. Grabbed by Kevin Johnston. He'll try to clear, and he finally will. Tries to go for Tyler Stewart. Pass was a little bit long, sent right back in by Fitchburg State. Was that the mayor who just ducked in here?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes, Mayor Samantha Squalia is here today at Hockey Day in the Burn. Can confirm.
You never know who you're going to see. Toivo Kramer tries to pass across ice, intercepted. Comes back along the near board. Stewart tries to grab it, looses the handle. Kramer sends it forward for Beauvais, back to Kramer. Toivo Kramer's shot save made, and it goes wide. Good stand there by Marshall McCallum. Now chance down the other end for UMass Dartmouth. Shot save made by Soderberg. Tyler Stewart was rejected. Another shot save made by Soderberg. That one off the stick of Michael Mania. Now Beauvais for Fitchburg State. Sends it in for Walk. Centering pass, shot goes wide. And we go right back down the other end. Stewart loses the handle, comes back out to center ice. Freshman on the ice for Fitchburg State is Hunter Dunn. He tried to play it, comes back in, but offside. And we get a stop at 17:56. I have no idea how many vines that was.
That is a number of vines, probably close to 15 or so. But nevertheless, there was some sharp goaltending in those last moments there. Both Marshall McCallum and Freddie Soderberg needing to be on point. Toivo Kramer had a tremendous shot, some great passing to give him a chance all alone, but he put it wide. And then Soderberg making a save, and then on the rebound, up close on Tyler Stewart, needed his defense to really help support him there as he tried to get back in position.
Face-off at center ice was won by the Corsairs, but the puck goes up into the stands where an energetic youngster has found himself a souvenir. They may or may not want that back. Depends how many pucks they have on hand. It's at least 2. We'll get another face-off at center ice. Ultimately won by Fitchburg State. Dunn sends it down. Grabbed behind the net by McCallum. He pushes it forward. Connor Little clears, dumps it in. Goes all the way down, we'll get an icing. And with 17:35 to play here in the second period, let's hear about the underwriters who make this and every remote production possible here on FATV.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, Lemonster Credit Union, the Sentinel and Enterprise, and Minuteman Press.
17.5 minutes to play here, second period. 1-0 Fitchburg State as the Falcons skate the puck out of their own end. There you saw Mayor Squalia. Shot save made by McCallum. Cleared out by McDevitt. He sends it across for Clark. Tries to find McDevitt again. Loose puck. Ultimately covered up by Soderberg. And we get another whistle. 17:07 to play here in period number 2.
Also seen a nice amount of Worcester Railers merchandise out there today. We saw Trax, the mascot for the Railers, was in the stands earlier. And they're also going to be holding a fundraiser game too for Jake Tebow on Friday. Of course,
our friend Tim Foley will be calling that.
Yes, can't forget Tim Foley, our old friend. Second-year broadcaster for the Worcester Railers, Fitchburg State grad.
Does a tremendous job. Faceoff comes in the offensive end for UMass Dartmouth. Back behind the net, grabbed and sent back along the near side boards by Hanley. Battling the near side corner, shot save made by Soderberg. Colin Cromie, the senior from Elgin, Illinois, was rejected there.
Soderberg's played sharp in this contest, and you can see he's positionally sound, tracking the puck, making sure he's right where he needs to be in front of it. And he's been very solid at gobbling up pucks.
Another faceoff comes to his left, won by the Falcons. Unable to clear it out, however, is Fitchburg State, but then they do. Millette, center ice, just barely onside there. Thought Walk was all the way over the blue line, but he had a little bit of his skate on the paint, so say the officials. Play continues. Fought for along the near side boards, kept in for a moment, but then finally cleared out by the Corsairs. It'll come all the way back down to Soderberg. Sent along the far boards to Walk. He tries to hit Millette, but the pass was a little bit too high for him. Grabbed on the far side by Tarantino. Back forward to Patterson. Shot save made, rebound, another save by Freddie Soderberg. Freddie the Falcon with all sorts of coverage in the net for Fitchburg State.
Made the initial save and then was able to get back in position for that rebound. That was extremely dangerous. By all rights, UMass Dartmouth should have tied it right there.
Puck dumped in by Amala. Falcons will change. So the Corsairs have an opportunity now. Alex Walker gains the zone. Centering pass, shot save made by Soderberg. Perone couldn't get in. Another centering pass, this one intercepted by Archambault. He leaves it behind the net for Jack Johansson. Johansson forward to Macchione. Macchione finally able to clear. He'll go cross ice to Archambault. Jake Maynard there for UMass Dartmouth. Sends it along to Perone. Perone will take it behind the net before leaving it for Tarantino. Tarantino back ahead to Perone. Perone gains the line, but he's 1-on-4. Finally leaves it off for Patterson. His shot save made by Soderberg. Glove save and a beauty for the freshman netminder for Fitchburg State.
See UMass Dartmouth really racking up the shots. Fitchburg was off and running at the beginning of the game with how many shots they'd gotten on target. This time you can see UMass Dartmouth starting the period with at least 7 in a row.
Take a look at that last opportunity. 2 impressive saves back-to-back by Soderberg.
Oftentimes it's very difficult to get back across the ice like that so quickly. Soderberg able to track that, make that second save. So many goalies would concede there.
Kramer sends it forward for Beauvais. Back to Kramer. Shot from the point is in! Antoine Gignac with the big left-handed blast doubles the lead for Fitchburg State.
The graduate student, the defenseman from Quebec City, lights the lamp with that blast. There's a Falcon right in front, creating just enough traffic in front of McCallum. Not sure if he got a tip on it, but nevertheless, they went to Gignac for that one. Be his 3rd goal of the season. It's 2-0 to the Falcons.
Antoine Gignac, the graduate student from Quebec City, extends the lead, makes it 2-0 Fitchburg State as we're just about a quarter of the way through this second period. Now Dunn with a chance to add to it, shot save made. Goaltender's stick is loose, he can't really get over to get it. Finally able to grab his hardwood, and it's cleared out by the Corsairs. Connor Little shot save made by Soderberg, dangerous rebound. Falcons almost walked it into the net. Beauvais and Kramer credited with assists on the goal by Gignac. For Beauvais, it's his 6th assist of the year. Kramer his 12th.
Remember that for how impressive Beauvais' stats are now. 6 goals and 6 assists on the season. He missed the first 8 games of the season.
Certainly making an impact upon his return. Credited with an assist there on the goal that gives Fitchburg State a 2-0 lead. Corsairs look to answer, sent in by Colin Cromie. Chased down by Sargent. Long cross-ice pass finally grabbed by Imala, but he is quickly dispossessed. Battle for at the face-off circle. Basically right at the dot. Officials say play on. Finally comes behind the net and is cleared out by Nedelka. Sent right back there. Nedelka's getting frustrated. He's got to get rid of it again. This time he's got Millette to help. Another Corsair loses his stick. That was Nicosia. He gets it back. Just in time to chase the puck down the other way. Cleared out by Fitchburg State. Grabbed by Maynard. He'll shuttle it along back. Sargent will give chase. No icing. Ref says play on. Dangerous opportunity there for the Corsairs. Puck bounced off the back of the net. Fortunate for the Falcons. Fitchburg State still unable to clear the zone. UMass Dartmouth was changing personnel. Only had 2 guys on the ice for a moment, but they still have the puck in the offensive end. Grabbed by Nedelka. He'll try the far side boards, unable to clear Tarantino. Tarantino will pass it along to one of his reservoir dogs. Had to make the reference at some point. Shot save made by Soderberg. Another shot denied by Soderberg. And it comes back out to Tarantino. He'll go cross ice to Maynard. Maynard's shot deflects. I think that hit his teammate Alex Walker before Soderberg had to make the save. Now back to Maynard. He'll send it in behind the net for Walker. Walker being harassed by Nolan Sargent. Walker gets reinforcements in the form of Perone and comes back out to Maynard. Maynard has it poked away. Good job there by Samuel Rennick just to give his defenseman a chance to breathe. Now Rennick centering pass, unable to find Cookson. Just a little bit too long for him. Falcons are changing in back. Corsairs try to clear the zone. Good job on the offensive end by Perot. Excuse me, that's Macchione. But he is ultimately dispossessed. Corsairs are able to clear. Comes back out to Gignac. Gignac, who had the second goal, wants a second one of his own. but this time he is denied by Marshall McCallop. And we'll take a breath. Or at least I'll take a breath. I don't want to tell you what to do.
That was a tremendously long time that UMass Dartmouth was able to rack up zone time. Just so much pressure in the Falcon end. And you can still see the sharp net minding of the freshman Frank Soderberg. Now 16 saves on the big green board. According to that board, the Falcons only have 3 shots on goal in this period, but they've got the only goal.
There's another shot by Beauvais, turned away by McCallop. Comes back to Beauvais, can't get the shot off that time. Broken up by Wutzke. Now back to Beauvais, this time he'll dump it in. He hits Michael Mania, I don't think that was his intention. Beauvais has it again on the far board. Shot by Kramer goes wide. McCallop with a nice kick save, comes back to Gignac. Beauvais forward for Kramer. Comes back out to Beauvais, but it's too hard for him. He can't handle it, it'll come all the way back down to Soderberg. Soderberg plays it to Johansson. Johansson wants no part of it, got it to Gignac. Ultimately cleared out by Jack Johansson. 3-on-2 for the Falcons if they hurry. Kramer centering pass off the stick of Zapata. Zapata couldn't get the one-timer, ultimately couldn't get any shot off at all. He heads to the bench, and you may have heard he is none too pleased with that. Zapata sends it back in. Played behind the net by McCallop. Sent along the far side boards off the stick of Skaggs, so there will be no icing. Isaiah McKinney loses the handle, shot, score! Cade Hanley from just outside the face-off circle to the right side of goal, went right over Soderberg's right shoulder. I don't think there was anyone in the way, Dan. Hanley just beat Soderberg.
Could be that, could also be, the way that it was going up, bar down, might have also been tipped on the way. And I could see Soderberg asking, what was that? Something to that effect. He was a bit surprised that that had gone and beaten him.
Take another look at it here. Just simple reach out, grab the puck, flick it into the top left corner. A lot of velocity on that shot from Cade Hanley, the senior defenseman from Bozeman, Montana.
You go up high like that on someone like Soderberg, who's 5'11", does mean that if he can't get that blocker up there or he can't get his glove up there, then there's a bit more space than the average goalie to shoot at. Just found that space.
From Brandon Clark.
Brandon Clark credited with the only assist on the goal for Hanley. So we get a whistle and a stoppage just past halfway through this second period. 9:28 to play. UMass Dartmouth is on the board. 2-1 Fitchburg State. Shots on goal unofficially tied, 17 apiece.
For Cade Hanley, the senior from Bozeman, Montana, majoring in art education, that's his first goal of the season. He's played all 20 games for the Corsairs. But he's able to strike for what appears to be a rare occasion.
Falcons able to clear the zone. Macchione at center ice. He's got Archambault to his left. Cooks in behind him. Comes out to the point. Shot goes wide off the stick of Nedelka. Back along the near side boards. Cleared out by the Corsairs. And we get a whistle. We're going to get cross-checking.
Interference behind the play.
Interference. I used to know what hand signals meant in hockey.
Well, there's a cross that you make there. Well, that's not exactly what they mean with that. Oliver Cookson will go for the interference.
We were talking about how Dean Fuller likes to keep his teams very disciplined. Falcons averaging less than 4 minor penalties per game. They will now serve their second one of this one.
Cookson second on the team in penalty minutes. He picks up numbers 15 and 16. Only Chris Zapata at 18 penalty minutes has more.
He will spend 2 minutes in the penalty box if of course, the Falcons' penalty kill is good. He might spend less time there. The Fitchburg State would not be happy with that. Macchione dumps it in. able to relieve a Corsair of his stick for a moment, then drives another one into the boards. This is going to be another penalty. Macchione delivered a big hit on Jake Maynard. Maynard a little bit slow to get up. See him there signal to the bench that he's all right. He doesn't want to come off the ice. I think they're going to send someone out there to make it not his decision.
It's like, take a breather. We've got a two-man advantage. It's probably something to the line of what Eric Nowak is saying. And, oh boy.
Yeah, that's, if that's not against the rules, it certainly should be. And the officials say, no, that's against the rules. So Michael Macchione will now go to the penalty box. And for 90 seconds, UMass Dartmouth has a 5-on-3 two-man advantage for the Corsairs. Shot off the stick of Ruffner goes wide. Falcons are able to clear. Grabbed by Walker. He'll send it back in for Patterson. Patterson leaves it off for Perrone. Perrone shot save made by Soderberg, excuse me. Tall task all of a sudden for the freshman netminder Freddie Soderberg. Just gave up his first goal of the game, then he has to suddenly go to, it's a power play. No, wait, it's a two-man advantage. Still 1:05 minutes on that. Shot save made by Soderberg. Rebound goes wide behind the net. Walker applying the pressure. Front of the net, grabbed by Patterson. He'll leave it off for Perrone. Cross ice for Ruffner, back to Perrone. Now Ruffner tried the one-timer, couldn't get it. Goes back behind the net for Walker. He tries to poke it forward. Soderberg will just pin it up against the net. There's a little bit of time taken off. 46 seconds on the first penalty, the one to Cookson. Another 30 on top of that to be served by Macchione. Falcons are about halfway home through this two-man disadvantage. Still miles to go before they sleep. A shot made and saved by Soderberg. Michael Perrone put everything he had into that one, and it wasn't enough to get past Freddie the Falcon. Faceoff will come to Soderberg's left, won by the Corsairs. Shot goes wide. Ruffner and Perrone just taking aim. Perrone's shot intercepted. That one doesn't even get to the goal. Now Perrone from the left point. Comes back out to Ruffner. He'll send it for Perrone. He tries a shot, goes off a Falcon and back behind the net. 15 seconds on the first penalty. Still time for the Corsairs. Ruffner back to Perrone. He sends it to Ruffner. Shot goes wide. Falcons have just about killed the first penalty, and with that puck going all the way down the ice, they have indeed done that. 5-on-4 now for Fitchburg State. The end is in sight to this big hole they dug themselves.
If the Corsairs had possession in the zone for pretty much the entirety of that 5-on-3, it was right as the penalty expired. The Falcons were finally able to get it out of the zone.
Corsairs are changing personnel, losing their sticks. Shot by Mania goes wide. We are back to even strength, and UMass Dartmouth was offside. Just barely over and back, but over and back it was. A big exhale moment for Fitchburg State. 90 seconds of two-man advantage killed off, and then another 30 seconds of power play on top of it.
So much going on there. Look at this out. Whoop.
Away from the play, you see Maynard literally with his hands on his head. He could not believe how easily he was dispossessed of his stick. Now Rennick shot through the 5-hole and in. Just like that. Fitchburg State gets back to even strength, and barely a minute later, Samuel Rennick gives Fitchburg State their third goal of the game, and it is once again a 2-goal advantage for the Falcons.
What a story Sam Rennick has been this year for the Falcons. his 5th goal of the season, 17 points. He's now the team leader. Just a great shot through the 5-hole of McCallum. And for Rennick, who had significantly fewer than 17 points in his first 2 seasons with the Falcons, he has broken out and then some for the green and gold, and has been one of the major contributors to helping make the Falcons as good as they are.
5th goal of the year for Rennick. Mala and Sargent get the assists. Corsairs will look to answer. It's a big swing there for Fitchburg State, killing off a 2-man power play and then getting the goal to make it a 3-1 lead.
Now coming from the so-called 4th line, which of course has Amala, one of the leading goal scorers, and Rennick, one of the leading point scorers on the team.
Shot by Johnston goes back behind the net. Fought for there by Stewart. Stewart is driven down to the ice by Macchione. No penalty. Archambault clears the blue line, dumps it in. Fought for there by Cookson. He leaves it back for Archambault. Archambault runs into his own teammate Beauvais. Beauvais will pursue in the far right corner. Cross ice pass to Skaggs. Tried to center, nobody there. Chased down by McKinney, but he's unable to keep it in. Now 2-on-1 for the Corsairs. Great defensive work by Skaggs, never allowing Michael Mania to have a clean passing or shooting lane. Corsairs and Falcons falling down on top of each other. It's going to be a penalty called against the Corsairs. Soderberg is out of net. Falcons will get the extra skater until the Corsairs touch. 4.5 minutes to play here, 2nd period. Fitchburg State leads 3-1. About to go on the power play after having killed a 2-man advantage and scored a goal that re-extended their lead to 2. It'll be Tyler Stewart heading to the box.
Roughing was the call.
I would say that fairly encapsulates what was happening.
Just thinking back to that moment where we saw with the stick flying up in the air. A couple of years ago, we had a game where a player was called for a penalty for lofting a player's stick 20 feet in the air. That one only went about 8 feet in the air, so they let that one go. And I think Maynard had his hands to his head thinking, how is that not anything? I can't believe what I just saw.
Falcons now on the power play, looking to extend this lead before the end of the 2nd period. Loose puck in front of net, finally cleared it out of the zone by Connor Little. He cleared it onto his own bench.
And there's a penalty for slashing.
The slash indicated, I didn't see who's going to the box, but Michael Macchione is loitering in that area, and he will go to the bin.
Well, the Falcons' penalty minute per game average is going up after this one. That's the 4th minor.
We will be 4-on-4, as you see, for 1:45, unless one of these teams scores. So Fitchburg State had the opportunity to really pile
even
on.
if one of these teams scores. It won't turn to a power play just because somebody scores.
Yeah. Toivo Kramer's shot goes back behind the net. Kramer falls down, Corsairs grab. Colin Patterson sends it forward to Perrone. Perrone to Ruffner. Ruffner's shot deflected up into the netting. And we get a stoppage.
Slight streaks of indiscipline here in the 2nd period.
Just a little bit. It's gotten to be a very chippy hockey game.
You mentioned Macchione had not gone on well with a couple of Corsairs. He's already taken 2 penalties, up to 16 on the campaign. No Falcon at 20 yet. The team leader has 18. Meanwhile, the Corsairs have 6 players above 20.
So they're ever so slightly more penalty happy, is what I'm hearing.
That's about right.
Okay. Perrone sends it across ice for Patterson. Gains the blue line, has it poked away from him by Gignac, but Stefan Perot is there. Sends it across the ice for Maynard, unable to keep it in. Chance down the other end for Fitchburg State. Taking it back behind the net is Jackson Collins. He loses the handle to Kevin Johnston. Johnston leaves it back for Perot. Perot dumps it ahead to Maynard. Maynard tries to clear, decides instead to send it back to Perot. About 2.5 minutes to play here in the second period. About 15 seconds on the 4-on-4. UMass Dartmouth will gain the offensive zone. Hanley leaves it off for Little. Goes back behind the net for Johnston. He sends it to the corner, but there are only Falcons there. It's grabbed by Skaggs. He sends it back behind the net. Corsair penalty is up. About 10 seconds for Macchione to sit. Samuel Rennick, who had the third goal for Fitchburg State, leaves it for Millette. Millette can't handle it. We are back to even strength. Rennick loses the handle again. Hanley will give chase. Under 2 minutes to play here in period number 2. Period which has seen 3 goals scored. Pass back behind the net, pursued by Rennick. He goes down to the ice, and that will give us a whistle.
Ruffner will be called for the boarding there. Battling for the puck against the boards and a bit of a shove into the back. Cross-checking officially the call.
Even strength hockey has become a precious resource here in the second period. We have not seen a lot of it.
Lane Ruffner will go to the box for penalty minutes 33 and 34.
UMass Dartmouth is hoping we will see no more even strength hockey. Faceoff comes to the right of McCallum. Medelka keeps it in at the blue line. Comes back to him at the point. He sends it ahead for Gignac. Now back behind the net for Macchione. Macchione tries to wrap around, not there. He'll send it back out to Gignac. Gignac sends it back to Macchione. Macchione gets whacked into the boards by Perot. Macchione not exactly making any friends from UMass Dartmouth today, but he's not here to do that. He's here to win a hockey game. Beauvais sends it back for Kramer. Kramer loses the handle, loses his footing, and the puck is sent all the way down. 1 minute left to play here in the second period of action. Corsairs give chase. One of their players loses a stick. Billy McDevitt is lumberless for a moment. Toivo Kramer leads the Falcons. Kramer will gather behind the net momentarily. He loses it to Hanley. Hanley and Kramer fighting for the puck, not with each other. There would be whistles if the latter was the case. Hanley emerges victorious. Gains the blue, then the red, then the other blue, finally dumps it in. 25 seconds to play here in the second period. Falcons with maybe one more offensive chance. Gignac cross ice off the skate of Beauvais, all the way back behind the net where it's grabbed by McCallum. Along the far side boards and out of the zone, chance for the Corsairs now if they hurry. Breakaway shot, save made by Frederick Soderberg. Kevin Johnston was one-on-one with the goaltender. Freddie the Falcon stuck his wing out there and said, no, sir.
I love the confidence there from Soderberg. He was well above the paint, cutting down that angle. And even though he got a nice elevation on the shot from Johnston, just flashes the leather, snares it out of the air. No, sir, you shan't have this one.
One more face-off to defend in this second period. Comes to the left of Soderberg. Puck skitters around harmlessly at the blue line and is finally cleared out. And that will be the end of the second period of action. 3 goals in that 20-minute time period. 2 of them scored by Fitchburg State, giving them a 3-1 lead as we head to the locker rooms. Dan, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was indeed some fun hockey. And just the Falcons, they put themselves in a bit of a hole, giving up that 2-man advantage for 90 seconds, and all 90 seconds, I believe, in their own zone. Couldn't clear, couldn't get a breath. The only breaths they could get was when Soderberg was able to make saves. But they were able to battle through, eventually clear it out, eventually kill that off, and then a minute later, where it looks like the momentum might be going in UMass Dartmouth's favor. There's Sam Rennick to pot a goal to make it 3-1.
Was very trying times for Fitchburg State. They had seen their lead cut from 2-1 and were down 2 men for 90 seconds. But they were able to kill off the 2-man advantage, kill off the power play after that, and then Samuel Rennick again within a minute of getting back to even strength, going through the 5-hole of Marshall McCallum, extending the lead back to 3-1. Got to feel Fitchburg State feels very confident about where they are heading to the third period.
UMass Dartmouth came out strong at the start of the second period. Shots in that period were officially 15-6 in favor of UMass Dartmouth, but the scoring in that period was 2-1 in favor of Fitchburg State.
Those bigger numbers matter just a little bit more. Falcons lead 3-1 as we head to the second intermission. We will take it with the players. You see Freddie the Falcon having done his work as a goaltender. He is now back to mascotting, but he'll be back in net for the third period in just a few minutes. So come on back, folks. It's hockey day in the Berg here on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center, Hockey Day in the Berg on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bullock. And Dan, let's take a look at some of the highlights of a very exciting second period of action.
You can see UMass Dartmouth coming out strong. The Falcons got 6 of the first 7 shots in the first period. It was about the same, but for UMass Dartmouth in the second. You can see sharp net minding being part of the reason why the score is as it is. Some battling in front. Marshall McCallum had a couple saves as well in the second period. There was a blast gobbled up by Falcons netminder Freddie Soderberg. Big crunching hit there. Here was another one. That was kind of an ugly one. That led to Mike Macchione being sent to the penalty box, part of a 5-on-3 he was involved in. That put the Falcons on the back foot. Antoine Gignac got the opening goal, but then right at the halfway point, Cade Hanley, his first of the season, put them back within 1. And Samuel Rennick, after they killed off the 5-on-3, able to come down the ice and put it through McCallum's 5-hole. 3-1, the Falcons lead through 40.
Very impressive second period for the Falcons, both the offensive and defensive side of the puck. Freddie Soderberg doing a tremendous job in net for the Falcons, and I'm not just saying that because Freddie's mom sent us a very nice email, but I'm not saying it because of that.
We always appreciate feedback. Do you have anything nice to say or anything maybe not so nice?
I was going to say there's a very important word in that sentence, but I suppose if you have some level-headed, reasonable, constructive criticism of the 2 homerish dopes with microphones in front of their mouths, where can they send that, Dan?
Helpful feedback can be sent to contact@fatv.org.
And unhelpful feedback can be sent to your circular file. Just print it out, file it away, we'll get it, we promise.
And we thank you for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in, whether you're watching on your FATV app, on your iPhone or Android device, or on your Fire TV, your Roku, your Apple TV, on fatv.org, on the Civic stream. fatv.org/civic. That'll take you right to where our games are broadcast in stunning high definition, or even if you're watching on Comcast 1074 or Verizon channel 2137, you can
also
watch us.
in stunning high definition.
How about that?
It took us a surprisingly long time to be able to say that, but you know, we got there. It's fine.
There's some hair pulling and nugging about.
If it turns out to not be fine, I don't work for FATV, and therefore I don't speak for FATV. So maybe I should be the one to take the gentle ribbing pot shots at the cable companies, eh, Dan?
Falcons will start the third period with a carryover power play at 23 seconds. Four Corsair skaters on the ice and Marshall McCallum, 5 Falcon skaters and Freddie Soderberg, and we're underway. So the linesman nearly gets tangled up in the jostling about in the center circle. Falcons going from left to right, Corsairs from right to left. Falcons in the alternate golds, the Corsairs in the road blues. Samuel Rennick will get to that puck. Battling with Jeremy Millette. And there's a shot by Amala, goes just behind the net. Penalty is already up to Lane Ruffner. And back to full strength are the Corsairs. Out of the zone and down the ice. Clearly sent down after the penalty expired. So icing will be given. See Marshall McCallum, the sophomore from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The other netminder dressed today, Pat Alto, he's from Barnstable, but he actually attended Cushing Academy up in Ashburnham for 3 years. So he's got some local ties to this area. Alto has yet to make a career appearance for the Corsairs. But with the injury to Daniel Davidson, McCallum has had to be the one driving the ship in goal. That one intercepted. Johnson's shot turned aside. And Soderberg trying to get packed to the near side post. He's able to shut that down as well. On the near side, Ruffner will send it around the boards to the far side. Enough time to get some line changes in this. Andrew Wollaston's stick just disintegrates on him. Explodes in his hands. He's thinking, what is that?
He was left holding the handle of the stick as the blade of his stick flew over the ice here at the Wallace Civic Center, skittered all the way down to the opposite corner. I have seen sticks break before. I have never seen a stick break in such a way that sends the head of it, look, flying!
This reminds me of a story. I'll tell the story in a moment when we have a whistle. Just make sure you remind me.
I will.
So Skaggs behind the nets from Archambault, one of the Falcon captains. Pass up to the center red, taken by the Corsairs and Kate Hanley. Hanley's the only player wearing an A today. The rulebook
on the front of the shirt.
On the front of the shirt. The rulebook likes it when you have one captain and one alternate, but pretty much no one follows that. Instead, teams name captains and alternates basically however they want. The Falcons with 3 captains: Antoine Gignac, Cole Archambault, Oliver Cookson. The Corsairs with Jake Maynard, Michael Perrone, and Hanley with the alternates. .45 to go, third period, 3-1 to the Falcons. Pass for Stewart up to the left side, looking for Mania. Having trouble turning that towards goal. Settled down Johnston. The shot, that's loose. That's off the iron. A yawning net to nail. And he missed it by that much. On the right side, Mania. Stewart turns, shoots. That's cut down. Falcons stretch it out. Well, that'll miss the mark for icing. But before I tell that story, we have to thank our FATV underwriters.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, Lemonster Credit Union, the Sentinel and Enterprise, and Minuteman Press.
Falcons are going to call their timeout here because I think they want to hear the story.
Absolutely, I want to hear the story. Tell me a story, Dan.
Once upon a time, I was a college student here at this wonderful university.
I've heard this story, or at least I've heard this beginning of the story.
Yep. No, this university's given me 2 degrees, you see, but besides that, I have a minor in theater. And one day, one of my scenes was to do this silent scene, if you will. And one of the parts of the scene that I had was I had this cheap plastic chair that I was once sitting in, and I was acting out in frustration, and my plan was to kick the chair and then kick it again, just kick it off the stage, maybe give it one last kick for good measure. Then I'm actually doing the scene. I never actually kicked it in any rehearsals or anything, but this is what I decided I was going to do. When I actually do the scene, I give it a kick and it flies off the stage in one go.
A little bit too much.
Yeah. I've never seen it. I didn't think that was going to happen, and that was what I was thinking of when I saw the stick blade of Andrew Wollaston's stick flying that distance in the air.
What grade did you get on the scene?
Decent enough. That was my lowest grade of the 6 for my minor, though. Hey, 3.0 is still pretty good.
That's very good. we will not be discussing my GPA. I got a degree. That's all anybody needs to know.
Here's Hunter Dunn on the right side. Across for Zapata, and McCallum able to stick with him as Zapata had to settle it onto his forehand. Now skating it up ice, Connor Little. On the pass off, he wanted to find Billy McDevitt. Found a Falcon instead, who spits it down the ice. Will not go for icing, deemed obtainable. I think multiple Corsairs were not happy about that decision.
They were gesturing with raised hands as if to say, oh, why is there no icing here, sir?
It is back in the Falcon end. They're having trouble moving it along. Nicely taken by Alex Walker. But he can only put it back in the zone, not much more than that. Jeremy Millette on the far side. Evades the hits. Michael Perrone. Colin Patterson. Now Alex Walker with a shot, blockered away by Soderberg. On the left side, kept in by Perrone. On the right side, trying to move it along the boards, but there's no glass there. It's into the bench, and a stopped play. 15:46 to go in the third, 3-1 to the Falcons.
It's very difficult to pass the puck along the glass if there is, in fact, no glass.
They have those cutouts there. It'd be very difficult to get on and off the bench if there was glass there.
It would be quite the feat.
Just queuing at the doors, and now that's into the other bench for equal time.
Sent one of the coaches for the Corsairs jumping out of the way.
Talked about Dean Fuller, 40th year, 39th season as head coach of the Falcons. Just got his 600th win last week against MCLA. The next milestone is just 2 wins away from him. 602 will match Bill Beanie for 4th all time among Division III coaches. Meanwhile, his counterpart on the other end, Eric Nowak, he's the 2nd most experienced coach in the MASCAC now. 21st season coaching D3 hockey. 8th, though, with UMass Dartmouth. 229 wins for Nowak, the graduate from the Rochester Institute of Technology class in 1998.
Lovely campus, all right. Not so lovely when you have to make 2 trips there in a 3-week span to drive your sister to college and then rescue your sister from college. But, you know, lovely campus.
I've never been out that far. I got to Utica. That was it. Didn't even go to Utica. Just drove through Utica. On the way back from Hamilton College. Home of the 2nd oldest ice hockey rink in the world. The oldest one is in Boston.
I was going to ask.
1910, Matthews Arena. The original home of the Boston Bruins, you know. Just like the oldest Candlepin Alley in the world this year in Fitchburg. But then Candlepin's a bit more niche than ice hockey.
Tiny bit.
Face off to the left of McCallum is won by the Corsairs. Getting it around the boards. Johnston trying to receive that puck. A couple of Falcons getting their sticks in the way, saying, no, I don't think you should have this. Tyler Stewart also trying to move it along for UMass Dartmouth, but the Falcons will get it out of the zone. Stretch pass looking for a walk was intercepted. Tarantino got in the way of that. He'll have it back now on the near side. Stretches it up, touched on the right side of the red line, and it ricochets around the boards. Michael Mania trying to be the first to arrive for UMass Dartmouth. Falcons trying to chuck it along. That's redirected wide towards goal and a sharp change of direction. Koivo Kramer with Alexander Bove to his left. Not a whole lot of room to work with. Bove's able to pick that up, get the shot off, saved by McCallum. Puck popped into the paint, and no Falcon there to get it, and we have a penalty. 1 second short of 14 to go in regulation time. 3-1 lead for Fitchburg State.
Connor Little got tied up with Christopher Zapata. It will be Zapata going to the bench.
And Zapata is the first Falcon to get to 20 penalty minutes this season.
They will send Little there as well. We'll for a moment like they were just going to get Zapata, which you see right there. Zapata went down to the ice and he took Little's stick with him. Officials will penalize both.
Little, a freshman from Portsmouth, Rhode Island, majoring in small business entrepreneurship. Zapata in computer information systems. I need to shout that out because that's in the department that I got my degrees in. It's adjacent to computer science. It's a little different though.
Just a bit.
2 minutes on the board for the both of them. And for Little, he is now up to penalty minutes 13 and 14. So we play 4 aside for this stretch of 2 minutes.
Penalties of 5:59 in the third quarter. Fitchburg State penalty. 13 Zapata, unsportsmanlike conduct, 2 minutes. And for UMass Dartmouth, penalty on number 23, Connor Little, 2 minutes for hooking.
Hooking was the call against Little, and unsportsmanlike conduct was the call against Zapata.
Well, we did mention that Zapata was in possession of Little's stick as he went down to the ice. That feels as though it may fall under the heading of unsportsmanlike conduct.
I don't know if the rule book says if there's a kinder way of saying something to the effect of embellishment. If that's how it's supposed to be assessed or what have you. I'm not saying he's guilty of that, I'm just wondering. Nevertheless, there's a shot that's blocked off the stick of Hanley. He had the goal for UMass Dartmouth. There's a wraparound chance. Going from post to post to Soderberg to shut the door there. 30 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. 12:30 to go in regulation time. Falcons lead 3-1. Falcons win this game. They will have the tiebreaker on UMass Dartmouth in the standings, and if they win in regulation, they will be level with UMass Dartmouth. There's a shot side of the net. Off the stick of Andrew Wolison. 7 to go on the 4 side. It's carried up by Mania's shot high riser off the mark. On the left side, penalties are up. Zapata and Little are both out of the bin. They've served their time on the naughty step, and they are released. Macchione behind the net. There's Cole Archambault trying to protect the puck from Mania. Archambault loses his skates. And it's cleared out of the zone and down for Adam Nedelka to retrieve. The Corsairs will change the personnel as much as they can get away with it. Fresh offensive line. And the shot by Johnston is gobbled up by Soderberg. 11:25 to go in the third.
I know it's probably just a coincidence, but I find it very fitting that Michael Mania wears number 17 for UMass Dartmouth. A good number of people will tell you that 17 was the best Mania. I'm partial to 24, but I'm a contrarian like that.
Would that number have been acceptable as well?
24? Oh, absolutely.
There are options, all right.
You could go 30. 30 was a good Mania.
Goalies like 30 too much, though.
That's true.
In fact, both of these goaltenders. Under 11 to go in the third. 3-1 to the Falcons. Pinballs around behind the net. McDevitt on the right side. Down to the left, trying to turn around, get a shot up. Pops high in the air over the net off the stick of Brandon Clark. Left side, Clark again with a shot. Soderberg kicks it away. He's trying to track it and follow it. And he stays with it all the way, and he'll hold.
Nolan Sargent exchanging, let's say, dinner plans with Colin Cromie after the play. It's how hockey players make social gathering plans. You know, you just get right up in the guy's face and be like, "You doing anything after the game, bud?" Just, you know, nice, pleasant conversation, I'm sure.
I'm sure it sounds tremendous. I'd love to hear those reservations someday. Whether they're not too sensitive to broadcast is another story.
You know, we're cable.
We are. That's why they like to get up in the faces. So we can't overhear them that well.
None of those pesky lip readers.
Just in case the cage isn't enough. It will be icing against the Falcons. This is actually the only game in Falcon sports today. Both basketball teams are off because there are only 7 teams in basketball right now. So somebody's got to sit. And today it's the men's and women's basketball team's turn to sit. But we have 8 teams here in the MassCAC for ice hockey. Next year we'll have 10. And then the year after we'll have 8 again. And UMass Dartmouth isn't going to be one of those 8 in 2 years' time. They'll get to play in the all-new Little East Hockey Conference. Here's Bove. They tried to make the toe drag, and he got bowled over instead. Illegally, they will say, and the penalty will be given. Elbowing is what made that illegal.
There was a roar from the home side. Bove was leveled. And they will send Lane Ruffner to the punishment prison.
Started this period in the box. You see, he's trying to stand his ground there. He's trying to not let Bove run over him. The problem is, it's his elbow that's the first point of contact.
Yeah, no, can't do that.
One of those, not intentional, but sloppy. But he'll sit back in the bin. Falcons will have their 4th power play of the night. Here's Gignac on the right side for Delta at the point. Go all the way across for Bove. Now Michael Macchione. Behind the net. Moves it around. Gignac, he had the 2nd goal, currently stands as the winner. Kramer tries to get back to Macchione, pressure there for Perot. Kramer, and back in the corner, Bove. Blaster on the boards, maybe a bit too much, but Gignac will have a great shot. And a good kick save by McCallum, another shot blocked and cleared. Garland Cromie laying out for that one. He makes his way to the bench, laboring a bit. 50 to go on the man advantage. Samuel Rennick, the 2nd line of the power play, comes out. Archambault out in front. Great chance there. That's been bouncing every which way at the top of the paint. And Blatt's shot, high riser, and it knocks one of the holders of the seamless glass to the floor. A lot of power on that. Someone's going to have to get that. There's a brief stoppage with 8:21 to go in the 3rd, 37 to go on the man advantage. Someone's got to put that in because if you try to knock the other one down, looks like they want to play on there, but or they're just going to wait. They'll wait. Just hope that nobody knocks the other one out. One of the other ones.
What are the odds, right?
Check. That's pushed towards goal. McCallum jumps on top, covers with 23 to go on the man advantage.
Let's see what other horrible jinxes I can levy upon the rest of this game. Boy, Dan, this game sure is going quickly.
One of those panes of glass on the near side already doesn't look like the rest of them.
No, it's fine.
I don't know if they want to make it 2. That goes off a Falcon into Mala as it's cleared out of the zone. 10 to go on the man advantage. Millette gets back in the zone, splits the 2. To go, scores! Jeremy Millette! He took the ceremonial face-off at the beginning of the game, and the Leominster native has scored on Hockey Day in the Burn to make it 4-1.
On a day where we honor Jake Tebow, one of his closest friends, Jeremy Millette, gets what feels like a game-sealing goal for Fitchburg State, makes it a 4-1 Falcon lead.
Former Leominster Blue Devil Jeremy Millette, his third goal of the season. Up to 10 points now on the campaign, the construction management major. One of 22 Falcons to make the all-conference academic team. And another Leominster native hooking up on the assistant, Cole Archambault. That one was meant to be. Falcons lead 4-1 now. That shot through traffic, save, loose. McCallum diving out of the way, and that just barely was stopped from going. Zapata that close to getting his second. Walker at the red line tries to dump back in, cut down by Zapata at his own blue line and dumped in by the Falcons. Tarantino tries to move it to Colin Patterson. Patterson coming today, the team leader in points, 27 for 20. Freshman from Rockledge, Florida. One of the great freshmen that the Corsairs have picked up this past offseason. UMass Dartmouth does have a lot of young players checking into the lineup. That was played with a high stick, and they'll move the face-off out. Falcons trying to hold on to a winning streak against the Corsairs, if you will, or at the very least a streak of unbeatenness here at the Civic Center. It's been 4 years since UMass Dartmouth has won a game here in Fitchburg. That was March 3rd, 2020 in the MassCAC semifinals. And UMass Dartmouth will call their timeout with 6:41 to go.
March 3rd, 2020. Nothing of consequence has happened in the 4 years since then, right?
Not really. I'd like to believe that. The 4 most recent games here at the Civic Center going by way of the Falcons in these matchups. The last meeting between these two teams back on January the 11th, that snapped a 7-game winless streak for UMass Dartmouth. Going back to 1982, these two teams have played exactly 100 times. Today's meeting 101. 52 wins for UMass Dartmouth, 39 for Fitchburg State, and 9 ties. You know, there was a great coaching rivalry between Dean Fuller and John Raleigh. They started in the same season, coached against each other for over 30 years. John Raleigh is still the 6th winningest coach in D3 history. Coach Fuller passed him on the leaderboard, I believe, a couple of years ago. Face-off will come outside the Corsair zone. Won by UMass Dartmouth. Lane Ruffner on the far side. Flips it high in the air. About 3 feet of clearance in the ceiling. Lincolmania. Left corner, Stewart. Skating around, right point, blast off the backboards. Skaggs is able to get it with the backhand moving along. And rushed up ice, Kramer. Trying to find Bove, has to put the self-pass instead. Bove gets the Skaggs, shot punched away by McCallum. Fought for behind the net. Corsairs will take control and clear. Here's Tyler Stewart in the zone. Only one man to beat, and he scores! That was a brilliant individual effort by Tyler Stewart, making the moves to create some space and picks the top right corner. Beautifully sniped. 12th goal of the season for the sophomore from Pittsburgh. And it's a 4-2 game.
Seemed like Fitchburg State had everything wrapped up. They had a 3-goal lead. Felt like they were going to coast to victory here. UMass Dartmouth says, don't count us out just yet. There's still 5:45 of hockey to play here at the Wallace Civic Center. This is still a very dangerous Corsair team. They're not beat until they're beat.
Now Alex Walker into the zone. Mania will get the lone assist on the goal by Tyler Stewart. I would tell you what he's majoring, but unfortunately I got the majors from the all-academic team. I'll just leave that there. Millette knocks that down. And Hunter Dunn will get to that puck on the red line. Nudge it into the zone. Backhanded out by Nolan Wutzke. 5 minutes to go in regulation time. Falcons lead 4-2. Goals by Zapata, Gignac, Rennick, and Millette for the green and gold. Hanley and Stewart have the goals for the Corsairs. Now Stewart just one behind the team lead of 13 by Colin Patterson. Puck knocked up in the slot. Mania trying to get on top of that, a glove lost. Out of the zone it'll go. Ruffner trying to keep control of it in front of the Falcon bench. Move it to Johnston. Rollison trying to win that puck. Gets it off to Rennick. Rennick battling on the far side. Falcons control, take a bit of a breather. Dump it down ice, looking for a tip, didn't get it. Icing with 4:09 to go.
And I think that was Brendan Walk who lost his glove. He lost it when he was going to play the puck, but it was hit by another teammate. And I think that teammate actually hit Walk in the hand when he was playing the puck. He knocked Walk's glove off, and then Walk immediately went over to the bench. He is doubled over in pain, clutching at his hand.
Could not have been pleasant. Shot cut down in front by a Corsair stick. Now sent into the slot again. Was looking for Patterson to try to pound that home. And that one knocked into the Corsair bench. Face-off will come just outside the zone or perhaps at the center dot. Linesman was thinking this one. Referee said no, this one. They'll go with this one. Falcons will win that draw. Gignac angled off the puck. Now Perone and a pass and a delayed penalty. Power play coming for the Corsairs with the touch. 3:48 to go in the third. And a slash indicated against Antoine Gignac. Corsairs will get their 5th man advantage of the night.
This is a big power play for the Corsairs. If they want to have any chance of tying this game up in regulation, it would be helped immensely by getting on the board here.
Draw one by the Falcons, try to skid it out of the zone. Good pressure, shut that off. That pass missed, but Johansson loses an edge. Able to get to it, dump it down the ice. Extra attacker is on for the Corsairs. They pulled McCallum. You know, with the man advantage coming as it is, that's definitely an idea.
It's not a bad one.
Falcons do get free shots at the empty net. But in exchange, it's essentially a 2-man advantage for UMass Dartmouth. They have 6 skaters on the ice. With under 200 ticks of the clock to go, Corsairs chasing 2 goals. The right side, Ruffner shot, blocked in front. That's going for the empty net. That's going to miss to the right by about 3 feet.
Dan, if this was a 1-goal game, I don't think we would see the empty net for the Corsairs this early, but you need 2. Why not maximize your chances to get 1 as quickly as possible?
Perone out to the point, Maynard, right side, blast. Blocked by Johansson with this sliding maneuver. Off his skates into the netting and out of play. 2:37 to go in the third, 50 seconds on the man advantage.
Here you see Freddie Soderberg had a very nice night in goal thus far for Fitchburg State.
Draw will come to his left. Corsairs win the draw. Maynard at the right point. Backhands to Stewart. Tries to go across. The one-timer misfired by Johnson. Falcons are able to clear it out of the zone. Cookson going for the empty net, goes off Maynard's stick and into the left side corner. Falcons trying to win that one. Cookson, player slow to get up. Macchione not able to get there. Corsairs are able to retake control. 25 on the power. They get it across. 6 skaters on the ice with McCallum on the bench. Johnston from Maynard, back for Johnston. They don't like these shooting lanes. They'll go to that right side instead. Now into the corner. Time running out on the penalty against Gignac. That shot redirects wide into the glass. Barely kept in by Maynard. Gignac's out of the box. It'll be 6 on 5 now. Still under 2 minutes to go. Falcons get it clear. They go for the empty net. They miss the mark. It'll be a race to the dots with the penalty expired, and icing is the call. Now
Falcons played very fast and loose with getting their extra skater back on the ice, Dan. They had a 5th man in the defensive zone before Gignac was even out of the penalty box. But they got away with it.
Was not caught. Gignac was never going to participate in the play. Right off the draw, Falcons almost clear it out. Now cut down in front, loose right in front, trying to jam away at it. Save, rebound save by Soderberg! Oh, a tremendous chance for UMass Dartmouth to make it a 1-goal game. Freddie Soderberg sticks with him. 70 seconds to go in regulation. That's cleared down. That's going to go down for icing again. Stop the clock with 67 seconds left. Have a look at this again. Look at the space in front. Soderberg doing the full splits, all the athleticism he can muster.
How does he get down in that full split? So impressive, so athletic by Soderberg to make the one save and then the rebound.
Tremendous play by the freshman from Harrison Township, Michigan. Former Metro Jet with unofficially 29 saves in this contest. We're under 60 seconds to go in this game here on Hockey Day in the Burgh. Falcons looking for another win. And to catch UMass Dartmouth in the standings. That's picked on the near side boards. Corsairs were able to gather it back. Right side shot saved by Soderberg through all the traffic. Got him up in the shoulders. 35 seconds to go. Into the left wing corner. Comes back out. Zapata's gonna have a go. He's gonna miss to the left this time. And the clock will stop once Maynard can get to the dots. 27 seconds left.
Any chance the Falcons get, just chuck it down the ice. Even if it's icing, even if it's just a few seconds to breathe, that is valuable. And if you get lucky, if your shot is accurate, you put this game away.
Draw will come to Soderberg's left. Corsairs win the draw. Quick shot. Maybe looking for a pass to the left side. Broken up there. Here's Samuel Rennick. He misses to the left by a foot. Zapata might get onto after that one, but he just tries to go to the ice and tries to obstruct Maynard. Now 7 seconds. Now that is Maynard there. The shot patted away by Soderberg. Pinned against the boards. Time will run out. The Falcons will win it 4-2.
Take a breath, Freddie Soderberg, you earned it. Tremendous performance by him and by the entire Fitchburg State side. A well-deserved 4-2 victory.
Corsairs battled back in these conference games where anything can seemingly happen. So much unpredictability. The Corsairs with some great chances, but the freshman netminder standing tall, getting the net today and making it worth it. He'll finish with 30 saves, and the Falcons will take away a 4-2 victory to get their 10th conference win of the season, and they are now level in the standings with UMass Dartmouth. With 4 games to play in conference play, they are both at 31 points.
That all-important second spot in the conference, the bye to the semifinals in the MASCAC tournament.
With the Falcons taking the victory, that's 2 wins out of 3 games, meaning they will have the tiebreaker over UMass Dartmouth if it comes down to that. And if Fitchburg State can go up to Plymouth on Thursday and come away with a regulation victory, then they'll have themselves a pretty strong case for some positioning on Plymouth State, having a tiebreaker over them, but that's coming up next. But here for today, though, a tremendous performance by the Falcons, timely scoring, and you can see Max Macchione and Freddie Soderberg, they take their cues from Lena Solmark and Jeremy Swayman. They do the post-game celebration hug, too. And the prayer circle that has become commonplace after games by the Falcons. The last time I was here, after a tough loss to Framingham State, the prayer circle actually featured a few guests from Framingham coming over to participate. We're coming together at the end of the game to celebrate another game well played. Everyone's got their health, everyone's got their happiness, their exuberance, coming away with another victory. The Falcons now 11-8-2 on the season, 10-5-2 in the MASCAC. UMass Dartmouth now 12-9 and 10-7 respectively. And with the 3-2-1 system that the MASCAC uses, 3 points for a regulation win, 2 for an overtime win, 1.5 for a tie, 1 for a overtime loss, and none for a regulation loss, it means that these 2 teams are now level at 31 points apiece.
Tremendous win for the Falcons, brings an end to a tremendous day of coverage here on FATV. Again, all the games here at the Wallace Civic Center today benefiting Jake Tebow, the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Fund. This is the 3rd year they've done Hockey Day in the Berg. It is one of our favorite days here on FATV. Folks, again, if you are in the Fitchburg area, we absolutely encourage you, come on down. You've got St. Bernard's and Leominster still to come here at the Wallace Civic Center. But Dan, this is the end of our doubleheader here on FATV, and it's just been a fantastic day, I think.
Always a lot of fun. Also great to have you on again.
I wasn't going to draw attention, but yeah, it's my first hockey game of the year. It's the most important one. That's fine. Don't drop me in off anything or anything. It's fine. It's good. I enjoy doing it. I love doing these hockey games here on FATV, and we'll be back next week. We got more.
We've got a doubleheader again next week. Fitchburg State will be taking on Worcester State at 4 o'clock, and then after that, Fitchburg Monty Tech will be playing Lunenburg Ayer Shirley. I think we might have some senior festivities going on those days. There will be a lot of merriment going about.
2 tremendous games coming your way next week. We had 2 tremendous games today. I want to thank our entire FATV crew. Our director today was Nate Glennie. Robin Como doing a fantastic job on replay, including putting together those packages, including the one you just saw. Travis Falk, our technical supervisor. We say it every time, but it's always true. Everything we do here at FATV, Travis has a hand in all of it, and it would not happen without him. We are so thankful to have him. Our camera operators today, Isaiah Manuel, Evan Schockenbach, and Keith DePerry. Tremendous work by them as always. We also want to thank Tim Doust, who was here. Always great to see Tim Doust. Got a chance to catch up with him. And folks, most importantly, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with myself. For Dan Bolak, I'm John Gugerty saying thank you everyone for watching. We will see you next time right here on FATV.